So today we will see some problem related to all the parameters which we have studied till now, and how this problem should be solved based on different possibilities which have been given on the question. Okay, so let us start with first problem. First problem: the power radiated by lossless antenna is 10 watts. The directional characteristics of the antenna are represented by the radiation intensity of U is equals to B naught cos cube theta watt per unit solid angle. It is for theta for 0 to pi by 2 and phi is for whole by pi. So this is the directional characteristics of the antenna that is represented by radiation intensity. Find A part, maximum power density that is watt per meter square at a distance of 1 kilometer. Assume far field distance. Specify the angle where this occurs. B part, directivity of the antenna. It should be dimensionless and in dB. We need to find out the value that is dimensionless, as well as we need to convert that one into dB. C part, gain of the antenna. It is also dimensionless and in dB. Okay, so this is all about the problem. The directional characteristics, that is our radiation intensity, is been given by this expression, and it is allowed for this limitation for this elevation plane as well as for the azimuthal plane. So based on this radiation intensity, we need to find out maximum power density at a distance of 1 kilometer. That is, we have been specifying the far field distance, and also we need to specify the angle where this occurs. Second part is directivity of the antenna. Directivity we need to find out, as well as we need to find out the gain. What is given? Radiation intensity is given, that is B naught cos cube theta. This is what is given. So for finding out the radiation or maximum power density, what we need to find out? We need to find out this B naught value, because we know we are having the relation with radiation power density and radiation intensity, that is U is equals to R square W rad, if you can remember. Okay, but this B naught value, it is unknown to us, so we need to find out that. So how we can find out? From this radiation intensity we can find out the power radiated, which is 10 watts. So from this radiation intensity, if we integrate with solid angle d omega, then we can take out the radiated power, which is equals to 10 watt. So by equating that power radiated with this 10 watt, we can find out this B naught. So how? Let us check. We know P rad is equals to 0 to 2s pi 0 to pi U d omega. U d omega. So what is that d omega? D omega is sin theta d theta d phi, right? Or U is given, that is B naught is the constant value, 0 to 2s pi 0 to pi cos cube theta sin theta d phi. So from this, if we do the integration, it is coming out as pi by 2 into B naught. So this value, I just skipped so many steps, 2-3 steps in between, you just do with that. So if we equate this P rad with our 10 watt value, then we can easily find out this B naught. So therefore this pi by 2 into B naught is equals to 10. So our B naught is coming out as 6.3662. Now as we have our B naught, we can easily go with our expression for this U, and U is equals to R square W rad, so we can easily find out W rad. So U, since U is equals to R square W rad, radiation power density, so this W rad is equals to U by R square. So what is this R square? R square is 1 kilometer, so that is 1000 meter, right? So we can write on this one as 6.3662 cos cube theta by 10 to the power 3 whole square. Okay, so it will result into 6.3662 into 10 to the power minus 6 cos cube theta. So what will be the maximum if theta is equals to 0, right? So this, therefore W rad max, it will be 6.3662 into 10 to the power minus 6 cos cube theta at theta is equals to 0 degree. So it results into 6.3662 into 10 to the power minus 6 watt per meter square. Fine. Next task is to find out the directivity. So directivity D naught is equals to 4 pi U max by P rad. 4 pi U max by P rad. So U max we can easily find out. U max will be our simply B naught. P rad, it is given on the problem, that is 10 watts. So 4 pi U max will be, so what will be our U? Therefore U will be 6.3662 cos cube theta. This is our U. So U max will be 6.3662. So it almost results into 8. So this is the dimensionless value. So what will be in dB? Therefore d naught in dB, it will be 10 log base 10 8. It is coming out as 9.03. So this is one value, this is another value. Next we need to find out gain. So we know there is a relation between gain and directivity. So if the losses are completely zero, there are no loss, then gain directly becomes same as directivity. That is G naught is equals to ECD into D naught. So what is this ECD? It is equals to EC into ED, that is antenna radiation efficiency. So what is this EC? EC is conduction efficiency, ED is dielectric efficiency. EC is conduction efficiency and ED is dielectric efficiency. So here in the problem they have specified nothing about this efficiency. So we'll take this is as 100% efficient. So this ECD will be considered as 1 if nothing is mentioned on the problem. So by taking this ECD is equals to 1, so we can write this one as 1 into D naught. That will be is equals to 8, or G naught is equals to almost 9 dB we can write, or we can write 9.03 dB, same. So we have considered for lossless and ECD is equals to 1. Anyone having any doubt on this? Ask. Any doubt? Okay, let's move to next problem. The normalized radiation intensity of a given antenna is given by first U is equals to sin theta sin phi. That is the radiation intensity given. Second one, B is equals to B. It is sin theta sin square phi. C, U is equals to sin theta sin cube phi. D, sin square theta sin phi. E, U is equals to sin square theta sin square phi. F, U is equals to sin square theta sin cube phi. The intensity exists only in the interval for 0 to pi, and for phi it is also from 0 to pi region, and 0 elsewhere. Find first point, exact directivity that should be dimensionless and in dB. Second one, azimuthal and elevation plane HPBW in degrees. So there are different radiation intensities given, so we need to go with separately for this all this radiation intensity bus. But what we need to find out, we need to find out the exact directivity in two forms, one is dimensionless, another is in dB, and we need to go with azimuthal plane as well as elevation plane HPBW. Means if we are taking from this z axis, this is the elevation plane, this should be the azimuthal plane. So we need to find out the azimuthal plane HPBW as well as elevation plane HPBW as well as azimuthal plane HPBW. So both the way, in the both the plane we need to find out HPBW if our radiation pattern is along that plane. If from the expression we can understand, we'll see in which plane our major lobe is extended, radiation pattern is in which plane, either it is in the elevation plane, either it is in the azimuthal plane. So if we are having the identification of that plane, according to that we will go and finding this elevation and azimuthal plane HPBW. So let us start with this first simple problem. So for finding out directivity, we will have our most general expression of finding that directivity, D naught is equals to 4 pi U max by P rad, right? So what we need to find out, U max we can easily find out, right? We need to find out this P rad. So let us take this first problem where U is equals to sin theta sin phi. It is for 0 to pi as well as phi is also 0 to pi. So what does it mean? This elevation plane is starting from 0 and going up to negative z axis. It can go up to negative z axis, or this azimuthal plane, it will start from this positive axis and goes up to this negative x axis. Same, it can come here and it will go up to this negative axis. So that is the range of the theta as well as phi. Or we can take out something like that, if our elevation plane is starting from this point, then it will start on the y-axis, negative y-axis, and ends on the positive y-axis. Same, if we start on this y-axis again, for this azimuthal plane, it will start here and goes up to positive y-axis. But one is vertical, one is horizontal to the xy plane. So this azimuthal plane is lying on the xy plane, and this elevation plane, it is lying on the zy plane or yz plane, right? This azimuthal plane is lying on the xy plane, this elevation plane is lying on the yz plane. Okay, so if we take this example first, so our first task is to find out U max. So what will be U max? u max will be 1. But what is the condition of this theta and phi? It occurs for theta is equals to phi is equals to pi by 2. We must need to mention this value. U max occurs for theta and phi both is equals to pi by 2. Right? So if we take from this z-axis, it will occurs at the y-axis, that is on the xy plane. Same, if we start from this x-axis, that will occurs, this u max will occurs for azimuthal plane, that will be on the yz plane. Okay, by taking this much, let us find out this period. So here theta and phi value both of them are up to pi, so we need to take according to that. But previously we have taken phi is equals to twice pi, but here they have specified that phi should be also up to pi only. So u sin theta d theta d phi. So we know this sin theta, sorry, this u will be sin theta sin phi, so that will become sin square theta. So let us take the integration with respect to theta first, that is sin phi d phi and 0 to pi sin square theta d theta. So if you do the integration, it is coming out as pi. Therefore our d naught, it is 4 pi into 1 by pi, it is coming out as 4, and it is equals to 6.02 dB. Right? Now we need to find out azimuthal plane and elevation plane HPBW. That is very important. Now if we look into this YZ plane for the elevation plane, if we go with this YZ plane, on this YZ plane which angle is varying? Theta is varying, but phi is fixed. So for elevation plane, that is our ZY plane, let us consider ZY plane. On this plane, which angle is varying? Theta is varying, but our phi is fixed. Phi fixed, theta varying. Now for the azimuthal plane, that is on the XY plane, that is on XY plane. So azimuthal plane, which angle is varying? Phi is varying, theta is fixed. Theta fixed, phi varying. So we need to find out HPBW, azimuthal plane. So let us go with azimuthal plane. So for the azimuthal plane, this theta will be fixed. So theta will be fixed means we need to take that theta for which our radiation intensity will become maximum. Because otherwise if it choose a such theta where radiation intensity becomes negligible or minimum, then there is no means, right? So whenever we have been considering a plane, we need to think of the another plane which makes that value maximum. Okay, so this azimuthal plane, if we consider, we need to take theta a fixed value. So for this case, that fixed value will be 90 degree, because then this u will become maximum if we take theta is equals to 90. Now we need to check our phi. What is the variation of that phi? Right? Any doubt up to this? Any doubt? So we need to go with HPBW. So let us consider U is the radiation intensity or radiation power density, it is having the condition of power. So previously when we have been considered field pattern, we have taken 1 by root 2 for E theta or H theta, whatever it is. Now as it is power, so we directly go with half, because it is half power beam width. So for this case, if we have been considering this azimuthal plane, so we need to choose theta is equals to pi by 2 and phi vary, right? So this u will become half, right? This u will become half sin theta, that is sin 90 degree, or sin phi is varying. So what is this sin phi? Sin phi now become half. Or what is this phi? Phi is sin inverse half. Right? So on this azimuthal plane, this is the azimuthal plane, we found out that our phi is, when it should be maximum, it should take sin inverse half, right? So let us consider sin inverse half is how much? 30 degree, isn't it? So from this plane it is extended up to 30 degree. Just understand, if this is your 3 plane, it is z, x, y. So on this azimuthal plane, your radiation pattern is starting from 30 degree. So somewhat here, let us consider, you are having this radiation pattern on this azimuthal plane. So it is starting at 30 degree. So same, both side it will also have the, if this is your axis, negative x axis, it will also be starting from 30 degree. So how much we left? Twice of that is our HPBW, right? So if from this one to this x axis to y axis, if it is 90 degree, then 60, right? So 60, double of 60, it is 120 degree. Just try to understand, from this x axis your radiation pattern is starting from 30 degree. So both side it will start after 30 degree, as we have been found. So what is the total angle included on this? It is total 180, 0 to pi. From x axis to negative axis it is 180. So 180 minus 60, how much? 120 degree. Clear? Yes? Yes? So what we can found, that HPBW azimuthal, it is twice of 90 minus sin inverse of half, that is twice of 90 minus 30, it is 120 degree. So same thing will be there for the elevation plane, because it is same as the sine function. So we can write HPBW elevation twice of 90 minus sine inverse half, that is 120 degree. So this is our HPBW azimuthal plane, this is our HPBW elevation plane. So elevation plane means from this z axis, from this z axis, if it is here to here, then this will be our radiation pattern. So here it is total 120 degree. Same thing we are having on the azimuthal plane. Clear? So let us go with another one. That is sin theta sin square phi. So we need to find out directivity. We can find out period, find out and go with the directivity. That is the same procedure. So it is coming out as D naught is equals to 5.09 is equals to 7.07 dB. You just go and do the calculation whatever we did for the previous one. Now we need to find out this elevation plane and azimuthal plane. Okay. So for azimuthal plane, what we want? We want our phi varying and theta fixed. Phi vary, theta fixed. So what will be that theta? Theta will be again pi by 2. So this you will be half sine square phi. We need to find out this phi. So this phi is coming out as 1 by root 2, that is 45 degree, right? So it is starting from here. This is negative x, it is x. It is starting from 45 degree. It is starting from 45 degree. So how much angle included here? 180 minus 90, it is 90. And for the elevation plane, theta varying, theta will vary and phi fixed. So again phi we need to take as pi by 2. So this one will be half into sine theta. Theta is coming out as again 30 degree. So this HPBW azimuthal, it will be same as previous one, 90 minus 45, it is coming out as 90. HPBW elevation, it is coming out as 120. Clear? You just try to solve for remaining one. I am just giving the answer for this. For C, it is having D naught is equals to 6, which is 7.78 dB. This HPBW elevation, it is 120 degree. HPBW azimuthal is 74.93 degree. D naught, it is 4.71, which is 6.73 dB. HPBW elevation, it is 90 degree. HPBW azimuthal, it is coming out as 120 degree. D naught is 7.78 dB. Just go with that value. I have not find out that one. HPBW elevation, it is same as HPBW azimuthal, which is 90 degree. F D naught, it is 7.07, which is 8.49 dB. HPBW elevation is 90 degree and HPBW azimuthal, it is 74.93 degree. Okay, so you just try to solve by yourself by applying all the procedure what we have been mentioning. Okay. Another problem, let us go with that. the radiation intensity of an antenna is given by u theta comma phi is equals to cos to the power 4 theta sin square phi for and twice pi, that is in the upper half space, that is upper half space. So if you draw this plane like this, so it is the upper half space because your theta is from 0 to pi by 2. So they are generally taking this theta is from minus y axis. So since it is upper half space, so it will be, let us consider from z axis 0 to pi by 2 and phi is here 0 to twice pi. So whole circle it is this much. So theta 0 to pi by 2, from 0 to pi by 2 up to this, and your phi is 0 to twice pi. So you can consider like this much, this shaded portion, means you are having this plane also. It is 0 in the lower half space. Find exact directivity and in dB and elevation plane HPBW in degrees. Okay, so same thing, we need to find out Umax, Prad, then we need to go with this D, that is what directivity, then dB value, that will be our directivity and dimensionless value, as well as in the dB value. Then we need to go with the elevation plane. So on the elevation plane, theta where is phi fixed. So by taking that, we need to go with this. So if we take Prad, it is 0 to twice pi, 0 to pi, u theta comma phi sin theta d theta d phi, which results into pi by 5. I am just skip intermediate steps. What is this Umax? Umax is 1 only, right? So it occurs for theta is equals to 0. It should be 0 degree and phi should be pi by 2, which is 1. So what is this D naught? 4 pi Umax by Prad. It is coming out as 4 pi by 5, which is 20, is equals to 13 dB. This A part. B part, for elevation plane, theta varies, phi fixed. So if we choose phi is equals to pi by 2, choosing phi is equals to pi by 2, we are having u theta comma phi is equals to pi by 2 is equals to cos to the power 4 theta, which varies within this range. Okay, so from this we need to take out the theta value by considering cos to the power 4 is equals to half. So we need to take this one, half is equals to cos to the power 4 theta. So from this we need to find out the theta, right? So where it is? It is on this plane, right? So we need to find out the HPBW. So twice of that will be the HPBW. So you are having this theta is varying from 0 to pi by 2, 0 to pi by 2. So if you take out this theta value, that will give you, just try to find out this, that will give you from where your radiation pattern exists. So by taking the twice of that, or you can simply write down this one as cos to the power 4 HP BW elevation by 2 is equals to half. So from here you need to find out HPBW. Clear? Any doubt on this? Now here you just think one thing, your function is cosine function, it is not at all a sinusoidal function, it is cosine function, right? So maximum occurs where? At theta is equals to 0 degree, means along the z-axis. Maximum occurs along the z-axis. But previously it was found that it is occurring along the y-axis for the sine function. So if it is occurring along the z-axis, so you can find out by the theta variation that the expansion of the radiation pattern in either side, in this side as well as this side, because it is along the z-axis, maximum itself is along the z-axis. So by taking this theta value, you will find that the extension of the radiation pattern in either side. So if we go with this theta value, it will tell us that what is this theta, where this radiation pattern exists. So if you take the twice of that, itself is the HPBW, because it is the cosine function and it is maximum is occurring along the z-axis, because it is theta is equals to 0 is having the maximum radiation pattern. Getting or not? Or previously when it was sine function, it was along y. So what we are doing, from that y-axis we are taking the angle from where, after which the radiation pattern is starting. That's why we have been deducting from 90. If it is starting from y-axis, that angle is considered as the starting point of the radiation pattern. So from that angle up to z-axis, it is the half part, and the half part is in the left hand side. But since it is starting from the z-axis itself, so the extension or the range of that theta from this value will give you the idea about the radiation pattern in the either side by taking the twice of that. Clear? Anyone having any doubt? Okay, have a problem? The normalized far zone field pattern of an antenna is given by E is equals to sin theta cos square phi whole to the power half for theta is equals to 0 to theta 0 to pi, and for phi is equals to 0 to pi by 2 and 3 pi by 2 to twice pi. phi is from 0 to pi by 2. Again it is starting from 3 pi by 2 and going up to twice pi, and 0 elsewhere. Find the directivity using first one, the exact expression, there is another way to find out, that is known as Krauss approximate formula. That should be from the graphical representation, that is from the radiation pattern itself. Krauss approximate formula. Okay, so let us go with that. So same thing, exact expression will go with finding this from the radiation intensity, will go with finding this power, then we'll find out the Umax, that is from that we can find out directivity. Now here the field pattern is given, not at all radiation intensity is given, field pattern itself is given. So from the field pattern we need to find out radiation intensity. So what is this radiation intensity? How we can find out? We can take out this radiation intensity by taking the power along a particular direction in a particular solid angle taken by whole solid angle. That is u theta comma phi should be power along direction theta comma phi in a solid angle d omega by solid angle okay. So this solid angle d omega can also be written as a area of the surface of a sphere. So what is this d omega? D omega is dA by r square. So if we multiply this r square with d omega, that will give us the total beam area, right? So the power along a certain direction, that is theta comma phi, within that solid angle, how much solid angle is included for a radiation. So let us consider we are having a certain radiation pattern like this. So for this radiation pattern, how much d omega is included? So within that d omega, how much power is going out? That is what the radiation intensity is. So from this beam area, how much power is going out? That is what the radiation intensity. So power along this d omega divided by the d omega, radiation intensity. So therefore we can write u theta comma phi is equals to power along theta comma phi into r square by dA. Okay. So dA is the differential area on the surface of the sphere, whole sphere. On that, how much solid angle is included for the radiation pattern? That is what the concern matter is. But this dA is the differential area on the surface of that sphere, and r is the radius of the sphere. So let us consider this dA is 1. Because as it is not specified, we can take out the maximum value, that is 1. Now the power density of the radiated wave, how we can find out from the radiated wave? From the field. Power density, how we can find out? Field is given, how we can find out power density or power? Same as the Poynting vector. We need to consider the Poynting vector. The power density of a radiated wave is given by the magnitude of the Poynting vector, that is p theta comma phi is equals to mod of e theta comma phi whole square by eta. So this u theta comma phi is equals to mod of e theta comma phi whole square by eta into r square, or simply p theta comma phi into r square. Right, now when we going to find out this directivity, what we need? 4 pi u max by p red, or 4 pi u max. What is this p red? That is u sin theta d theta d phi. So from here we can easily find out u. What is this u? U is this expression. So on this expression, if you put u max, so that will be this value only for what r that will makes this u max. We need to consider that one. So we can write down this one as d max is equals to, or d naught is equals to whatever it is, 4 pi e max square by theta is equals to 0 to pi, phi is equals to 0 to twice pi, mod of e theta comma phi whole square sin theta d theta d phi. We need to solve this value which is given here. Okay. Now if we define the normalized radiation pattern, then we can go with e theta by e max. We can take out this here. So we can write down this one as the normalized value. So taking the normalized radiation pattern, considering for our representation only, I am just taking the representation, considering the normalized radiation pattern. The problem arises since the field is given. It is not at all given as the radiation intensity. So from this field we need to go with the radiation intensity, then we are going to find out the directivity. Normalized radiation pattern as En theta comma phi is equals to E theta comma phi by E max. Therefore this D max or D naught, whatever it is coming out as 4 pi 0 to pi 0 to twice pi mod of En theta comma phi whole square sin theta d theta d phi. So what will be this maximum value of this En? Normalized value. The maximum value will be 1, because E max, if this E theta phi is equals to maximum, then this normalized value will be 1. Right? Now for the large antenna there are certain side lobe levels also exist. So for that case we are not at all considering the side lobe level, we are considering the main lobe only. Okay, so this normalized value we can consider, that is this double integration En theta comma phi square, it is d omega, right, differential solid angle. It is only considered for the main lobe, not at all for the side lobes. Now if it is a narrow beam antenna, I am just doing all those things, only 5 minutes I will complete. for narrow beam antenna, means it is quite highly directive. For narrow beam antenna, what we can consider, this double integration normalized En theta comma phi whole square d omega can be considered as multiplication of theta HPBW and phi HPBW, that is solid angle along main lobe. Okay, so what is that? Let us consider we are having certain radiation pattern. Let us consider we are having a radiation pattern, something like this. It is quite directive. Now if we consider, it should be a 3D radiation pattern, right? So it will has like this, all the sides in all the directions, it will have all the sides like this. Now we can consider this lobe, it is Z, it is X, it is Y. So if we draw a rectangular box, let us consider we are drawing a rectangular box. On this, if we can able to take out our radiation pattern on this rectangular box, if the radiation pattern is exist, so we can say the area of this total beam area of this radiation pattern is somewhat approximately the total area of this rectangular box. Now what is that? Just try to understand, just try to think. A balloon is having with you. You are having a balloon. That balloon is taken inside a rectangular box. So what will be the situation? The balloon, according to its shape, it will take out the maximum area inside that rectangular box. So what we can say, that total area of that rectangular box or volume of that rectangular box will be same as or approximately same as the volume of that balloon, though it is not same. So what we can consider, if we are taking this side and multiply these two, what will be the area? It is somewhat same as the area of the radiation pattern. It is somewhat same as the area of that radiation pattern. So this side, it is known as theta HP. This side, it is known as phi HP. So that is what the Krauss approximate formula is. So what it says, according to Krauss approximate formula, that directivity, now this approximation of taking these two sides, it is valid only for theta HP and phi HP if it is less than 1 radian. If it is less than 1 radian. Now this directivity is approximately 4 pi by solid angle along the main beam, that is 4 pi theta HP phi HP. That is what the Krauss approximate formula is. The condition is that theta HP and phi HP both should be less than 1 radian. Then only we can take out this kind of approximate formula. Now just think how much narrow beam the radiation pattern is having. It should be less than 1 radian. Okay. Now this exact value of directivity is coming out as 5.09. By doing all the mathematical calculation, it is coming out as 5.09. That is 7.6 dB. Now for finding out, according to this Krauss approximate formula, we need to find out the theta HP, phi HP. Theta HP is elevation plane HPBW, phi HP is azimuthal plane HPBW. So this theta HP is coming out as 120 degree at phi is equals to 0 degree, and this azimuthal plane, it is phi HP, is coming out as 90 degree at theta is equals to 90 degree. So if we take this Krauss approximate formula, this 4 pi is equals to how much steradian? It is the total steradian of a sphere, that is 41253 square degrees divided by 120 degree into 90 degree. So it is coming out as 3.81 is equals to 5.8 dB. So this is Krauss approximate, this is exact. I hope you got the idea.